It's a party. It's a party. It's a party. It's a party.
Right.
100.
Okay.
You have been barbecued.
CS.
CS2 back.
AKA
It's time to get into
AKA back.
My name is Wack 100 and I am addicted to paperwork and snitches.
You guys.
Wack almost had us fooled by not being CS2 back. When they say CS2 back is trying to get in contact with DD, and that's Dell Dog, rest in peace. And on the wiretap, it say, I don't fuck with the Wack nigga. Don't give him my number. But he also had a conversation with somebody named Mark Stevens, Marky Mark, who's also on the case.
Okay.
So you're denying being this confidential source, CS2 back, but you're not denying trying to get Dell Dog's number in the same exact motions that the paperwork is saying that you did.
Okay. What does this all mean?
So it means that he's a confidential informant for the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Allegedly.
Most of the internet already knows that Wack 100 has a strange obsession when it comes to paperwork and snitches. And No Jumper exposed exactly where Wack's fetish for paperwork comes from. So today in this video, we're gonna break down how Bricc Baby just exposed Wack 100, or confidential source number 2, as a federal informant.
Allegedly.
In a Main Street Mafia Crips case that took place back in 2008. Look, a lot of you probably already had that feeling that Wack 100 is very policey, if not federal, and Bricc Baby confirms just that.
I'm a man at the end of the day. What the fuck do you want me to do?
You can't justify nothing.
I'm not justifying nothing. It's some other shit Cuz got an answer to that I'm not cool with. Every time that you look for validation, you got Caden on your shit. You got fucking Reggie Wright. You got a police officer talking about, hey, didn't I do what wasn't I? And you verifying gangster shit through police officers, gang. On 6-0. You get what I'm saying?
Right,
Let the street speak for you, gang.
That like button and let's get right into the paperwork. Here is a short breakdown of the paperwork exposing Wack 100 as a confidential source for the feds.
Allegedly.
Man, these are not my opinions and or assumptions. You're gonna hear directly from the co-defendants on this case saying that Wack 100 snitched, and also from the arresting officers and maybe even the handler. So let's get right into it. This is how it breaks out. A few pages from the Main Street Mafia Crips paperwork gets exposed, and one of those pages is a federal transcript of a wiretap.
That was one of the names that the feds used for confidential source number 2. That Wack also says CS2. That CS2, for those who don't understand law, is the code word for confidential source.
The following is a transcript of a wiretap pertinent to Liddell Del Dog Rowles, Mark Money Mark Stevens, Robert Studdabox Ross, and confidential source number 2, session 18202. Date and time: August 5th, 2008. Duration: 7 minutes 1 second. Dell tells Stevens that your boy Box, went sour. CS2 Back wants Dell phone number. Back needs to talk to Dell. It's important. Dell talks about Box incident and Back wanting to talk to Dell. Mafia talk and someone talking too much. Box ? Sounds like Back has info on Box and talk about phone lines being compromised. Box punked the gang. 2 messages on Mark's phone. Mark is involved in the gang business and operations. Duke. Back is calling on another line to Mark.
What is Mark saying I had to do with the case, bro? Nigga, I was a target. My house got raided. I talked to Dog. And I think Mark tried to set the 3-way up.
Back is calling on another line to Mark.
Now that wiretap shows an individual referred to as CS2 Back, or confidential source number 2, contacting another individual named Mark Stevens with the goal of getting in touch with a third individual named Dell Dog. Dell Dog happens to be the head of the Main Street Mafia Crips at the time. And according to the wiretap, the CS2 Back individual wanted to tell Dell Dog that his fellow Main Street named Studdabox had quote unquote gone sour, aka is snitching. But unbeknownst to Mark Stevens and the Main Street Mafia Crips, the gang was already under surveillance as part of an ongoing federal investigation, and an article from the LA Times back from 2011 also corroborates these wiretaps and paperwork being legitimate. It reads, in one wiretap phone conversation 6 months after the attack, Rawls told Stevens that Ross, aka Studdabox, had quote unquote gone sour. This is from the LA Times. This article also says that investigators obtained phone records documenting a flurry of calls from Mark Stevens to Liddell Rawls, who was Del Dog, and other gang members around that time. So now that we know the paperwork is real and that the CS2 back individual actually exists, how do we know that this is Wack 100 aka Cash Jones? Well, let's listen directly to the co-defendants from this case explain what happened and how they found out it was Wack 100. Remember the individual named Stutterbox who the CS2 bag person was calling Del Dog to inform him had quote unquote went sour? Well, according to him, Wack was actually the snitch in that case because on one of those wiretaps, he got caught giving up Stutterbox's address to Del Dog, and Del Dog sent some hitters at him, which resulted in Stutterbox getting his car shot up and Wack 100 getting arrested for conspiracy to commit murder. Listen.
Police ass nigga talking about, nigga, the first code of conduct is you don't talk to the police. Nigga, you is the police, nigga. Officer Wack, snitch ass 100. I'ma drown his ass, homie. On Main Street, I'ma drown. I decided to let this buster ass nigga know I know what he did, right? He reaching out, trying to contact the nigga who supposed to be the boogeyman. I know where the nigga live at, behind my back. It's in the paperwork. All on wiretap. That's why your house got ready, you bitch ass nigga. You conspiracy to commit murder, nigga. You buster ass nigga. On Main Street.
His house got raided because he was on the wiretap.
What actually did you hear of Wack 100 that the feds had, but haven't charged him for conspiring to murder?
He allegedly gave Dog my address, homie. And I told you that they was in front of my house, so somebody gave him the address. If I get killed, whoever gave him the address gonna get conspiracy to murder. But if I don't get killed, they can get conspiracy to attempted murder because they shot up my Rolls Royce, put 17 holes in my Rolls Royce.
Not only is Stutterbox saying that in this video, but also in other interviews. But he actually tells Wack 100 the same fact to his face on a recorded phone call. And of course, Wack 100 is the one that recorded this phone call.
Let's play Stutterbox talking to Wack. This is what I'm trying to figure out though, Box. Help me understand this, because me and you both know that whole case was your thing. What is Mark saying I had to do with the case, bro?
Wack, listen, in the paperwork it said you tried to call Dog, remember?
That was your play. I had nothing to do with it. I was a victim.
They said when Dog called you, his phone was hit. That's how they got on your line.
No.
And you claim that's what they say, Wack?
No.
So with all that said, Wack 100 still denies that the person in that paperwork, CS2 or confidential source number 2, named Back, is actually him. Well, let's hear what the other co-defendant and the person who the CS2 Back person was calling on that wiretap clear this up for us. Is CS2 Back actually Wack 100 or not?
Point, you get a phone call from Wack 100, Cash Jones. What did he contact you concerning?
He wanted to reach out to Del Dog, rest in peace. I got the whole transcript, transcripts of the whole wiretap. Lawyers that was involved, they was able to get the discovery.
But when you get the discovery, was part of that the actual wiretap? Do you see your conversation with Cash Jones in them transcripts?
Paperwork, they put him as Back. B-A-C-K. I kept asking the lawyer, like, who the fuck is, I ain't talked to no Back. And they said, nah, that's Wack. But they put him as Back because he a blood.
Was this Back also referred as confidential source number 2?
Yes, sir.
Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. But in case that wasn't enough for you, here's another interesting fact. Remember when Wack 100 brought 2 police officers, Greg Kading and Reggie Wright, on Clubhouse to convince us that he wasn't a snitch and was not involved in this case that we're talking about?
So we got Reggie Wright up top right.
And here you are, publicly an ex-cop.
Yeah. Greg Kadings was the lead investigator. I'm probably saying this shit wrong. He'll tell you more on that case. To where, well, fuck it, Greg. Tell him who you are.
That's funny. So yeah, I was a cop in LA.
Even though this case was handled by the LA sheriffs and Kading or Reggie Wright had nothing to do with it, here is Greg Kading telling us half truth about how the case played out.
So we do a search warrant at the house. Of course, don't come up with shit.
Cash Jones was never arrested. We'd never arrested Cash Jones.
Oh, the police officer, the same one Wack 100 was able to get to come defend him on Clubhouse, who is obviously running the same playbook as Wack 100 when it comes to this specific case. He's telling us that, yes, Wack 100 got raided, got caught on a wiretap, but was never arrested. But here is one problem with Wack and his cop buddies' narrative about Wack 100 never being arrested in this case.
Well, first of all, there were no arrests made other than Cash Jones.
So according to the sheriff from the sheriff's office that handled the Main Street Mafia Crip case, from which the CS2 bag paperwork stems from, he claims Wack 100 was actually arrested.
There were no arrests made other than Cash Jones.
So if he got arrested on a conspiracy to commit murder,
it's in the paperwork. All on wiretap. That's why your house got raided, you bitch ass nigga. You conspiracy to commit murder, nigga.
And potentially guns. How did he go free? Y'all let me know in the comments. Hit subscribe.
Reggie right up top right. Greg Kadings is... All right, so, Greg, Reggie sent you a document.
And here you are, publicly an ex-cop.
Yeah. And I'm looking at that and looking at the names, MS, I'm identifying that as Mark Stevens, DD, I know is Dale Dog. And they got a name on there called Wack, B-A-C-K. And it has some shit. Let me pull this shit up so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Back, and it has some shit says CS2. Now, can you tell the people what my position in this case? How did Cash Jones, Wack 100, how did I get involved or implemented in this case?
So, I don't know what Box had going on, the whole Main Street thing and all his drama and background going on with that case. I became involved in it later, but at that point in time, they're just saying, hey, you should talk to this guy. He may be able to give you some information that will help with your case. That's it.
All right, so then I then came down to, I believe that's the federal headquarters on fucking Wilshire. I think, so I guess the story is when I came down to Wilshire, I came down there to inform and not pick up whatever little items I had or...
So we do a search warrant at the house. Of course, don't come up with shit.
Cash Jones was never arrested. We'd never arrested Cash Jones.
I don't know what the fuck that was, but I know I had to come down to that Wilshire building. And I came down with my legal, which I don't know why I would have to inform because I was never subject to any arrests or anything like that.
Well, first of all, there were no arrests made other than Cash Jones.
Got him. We fucking got him.
All right, and then in your paperwork, I don't know. How was I referred to? Was I referred to Wack, Cash Jones? They have this Back name. I don't know who the fuck Back is. I don't know. I know I've never had that moniker, but I don't know. Maybe it was some coded shit.
Back needs to talk to Dell. It's important. Mark is involved in the gang business and operations. Back is calling on another line to Mark.
What is Mark saying I had to do with the case, bro?
Wack, listen, in the paperwork, it said you tried to call Dog, remember?
Nigga, I was a target. My house got raided.
Wait for it.
I talked to Dog, and I think Mark tried to set the three-way up.
Back is calling on another line to Mark.
What was I referred to in your, because I've never looked over that paperwork, never had a need to. What was I referred to?
Yeah, we wouldn't have referred to you as an informant because you never were. We would have referred to you as a target or a source of, not a source of information because you weren't even that. So, I'm a little vague on it right now because
The subscribe button. When I beat you on Power Rule, you going to bed.
We go through Wack 100's paperwork, and what happened was Wack almost had us fooled by not being CS2 back, so he keeps playing himself. Now, they don't have his name on any of this paperwork except for one sentence when they say CS2 back is trying to get in contact with DD. And that's Dale Dog, rest in peace. And on the wiretap, it say, I don't fuck with the Wack nigga. Don't give him my number. But he also had a conversation with somebody named Mark Stevens, Marky Mark, who's also on the case. And he was like, remember, I just was calling you, nigga, trying to get on the three-way. I never asked for his number. I was trying to get a three-way to Dale Dog and da-da-da-da-da.
Okay.
So you're denying being this confidential source, CS2 back, but you're not denying trying to get Dale Dog's number in the same exact motions that the paperwork is saying that you did.
Okay. I get it.
So what you're doing is you're admitting to being on that phone, being the person on the phone, but you're not admitting to being the confidential source, but there's no way that you could not admit because you're on the phone and you're in the paperwork and you're saying, so
and
that,
on the wiretap.
What does this all mean?
So it means that he's a confidential informant for the Federal Bureau of Investigations.